guys, so I am back with a brand new video. In today's video, I kind of figured I would just share with you guys some eyeshadow palettes that I bought in the past, and I kind of feel like in this present day, if I was to see them again, would I purchase them? And the answer is going to be probably not, because they're all sitting in front of me for this video, and they're pretty much just palettes that I probably would not have even given a look at this present current day. And only because, you know, I kind of feel like me a couple years ago to me now, I kind of know what I like in terms of an eyeshadow palette, and I know what colors pretty much suit my skin tone, and I just kind of feel like I probably wouldn't reach for these palettes now, and I honestly don't even reach for them today in my collection. So yeah, if you guys want to see what these palettes are, then of course just keep watching. Alright, so keep in mind, some of these palettes are going to be discontinued, and some of them are going to be actual products that's still in the store right now as we speak. And I think a few of them is probably going to like surprise you guys in terms of like, girl, you're crazy. So starting off, the first one is going to be by Urban Decay. It's going to be their Naked palette. And yes, it's the infamous original Naked palette that pretty much just started the whole naked trend for Urban Decay. And I bought this palette because I was just starting my YouTube channel and just kind of like starting in with makeup, and everybody was pretty much just raving about this product in terms of how amazing it is, and it's just the best thing walking. And I kind of figured, well, hey, if she like it, then I'm gonna like it. And I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a bad palette, because it's not. It's actually a really good quality eyeshadow palette, but it's not my kind of palette. You guys know I love a palette that's more of like a warm tone eyeshadow palette. These colors in here are strictly like your neutral colors, and also like some cool tone colors in here as well, and those kind of colors are not my kind of colors in terms of what I like. The only color in here that pretty much speaks to me is Smog, which is this one right here, but everything else in here does not speak to me at all. And I honestly probably have used this palette probably like once or twice, and that's pretty much it, because I kind of felt like this is not my kind of palette. Like these colors down here in the end, they're so basic, and I just kind of feel like it doesn't excite me in terms of actually creating an eyeshadow look. I know some of you guys love this eyeshadow palette, and I'm happy that you guys like it, but I just think for me, it's just not my kind of eyeshadow palette, and I kind of feel like if I was to see it on the shelf today, I honestly wouldn't even give it a second look. Like for me, I kind of feel like I would either get the Born to Run eyeshadow palette, which I actually have in my collection, or I would get the Naked Heat palette from them. But this palette, I probably wouldn't even give it a second look. So yeah, again, sticking with Urban Decay, the next one is going to be their Naked 2 eyeshadow palette. And here is the inside of this palette. Again, it's just the same thing as the first one. I'm not totally in love with it, and again, the quality is definitely there, so don't hear me say the quality is not there. The quality is there. They're super pigmented, really good quality eyeshadows, but again, it's not my kind of colors in terms of what I like for eyeshadow. The two colors that I like is going to be Half Baked and Chopper, which is these two colors right here. Besides that, everything else in this palette, again, it doesn't excite me, and I kind of feel like I honestly wouldn't even buy this palette today if it was on the shelf, which it still is, but I honestly wouldn't even purchase this palette because it just doesn't catch my attention. Like, I like fun colors, I like your oranges, I like your pinks, I like your purples, I like your golds. Like, that's what excites me in eyeshadow palettes. Then I have one more by Urban Decay. It's going to be their Urban Decay Basics eyeshadow palette. Girl, I don't even know why I bought this palette. Like, exactly what can I do with this eyeshadow palette? I'm just saying. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and we're going to keep it moving. All right, next product is going to be by It Cosmetics. It's their Naturally Pretty eyeshadow palette. I bought this palette a couple of years ago, and I don't even know why I purchased this palette, because look at the colors in here. What can I do with this eyeshadow palette? Like, the colors in here are so light, they're so muted, and you only have like 1, 2, 3, 4 pops of colors in here. Everything else, like all of this and this, like I can't even work with on my eyes. And I kind of feel like I'm not gonna buy an eyeshadow palette if I can't use the entire eyeshadow palette. But again, that's just me back then to me now in terms of like me knowing what I like. And I don't even know if they still sell this palette or not. And if they don't, good for them, because it's just not like, no. So we're going to move on. Next palette is going to be by Lorac. It's their Unzip Ocean Sunset palette. Now, honestly, you guys, when I saw this eyeshadow palette, I was head over heels in love with the palette. I love the colors. That green color pretty much spoke to me, and of course the gold, that purple color spoke to me, but it's just the quality of these shadows are not good. And the green honestly disappointed me. I have tried to use this palette to do a look so many times, and I always hate the way the look comes out because the quality is not good. And I love Lorac palettes. I love their Lorac Pro. I love the Unzip Gold, and I have one more by them, but this one was actually a flop for me. I do like the mattes and I do like this gold for the palette, but I just think this color honestly just killed it for me, and that color as well kind of killed it for me. So I did not like the quality of this eyeshadow palette, but I do love the colors. So it's one of those things where I would buy it for the color aspect, but I wouldn't buy it for the quality of the palette. So yeah. Alright, next palette is going to be by Bad Habit Beauty. Now, I bought this palette when I was starting out on my Bad Habit Beauty like buy-in binge, and I think I just bought this palette because I was pretty much trying to like collect all of their palettes that they came out with. But I bought this palette, I want to say either a year or 2 years ago, and I haven't even touched this palette not once. And every time I try to say, okay, use the palette, I open it up, I look at it, and I just get so uninspired. And I just kind of feel like I can't even tell you how the quality is because I haven't even tried to use the eyeshadow palette, because again, the colors in here do not excite me at all. And this was a dupe to the Lorac palette. I forgot which one it was, but again, it's just so uninspiring to where I kind of feel like I honestly wouldn't even buy it. And if it wasn't for me trying to like collect all the eyeshadow palettes, it wouldn't even be in my collection as we speak right now. So yeah. All right, moving on. We only have 3 palettes left. These next 2 palettes is pretty much going to like surprise you guys, and it's not because I don't like the eyeshadow palette. I actually do like the eyeshadow palette, but when I look at all these palettes that's on the market, when I look at what I like, and again, when I bought this palette, it was because I like the palette. However, this is going to be the Morphe 350 palette. My issue with this palette is I cannot use the entire palette because you have colors like these right here that's super light, and I just kind of feel like, what am I supposed to do if I can't use the entire palette? And then you have all these browns that almost kind of like repeat itself, and I just kind of felt like it was wasted space to where they could have added more oranges in here or just like some other colors in this palette, because all these browns that look the same and then these like random colors right here that I can't even play with, I just kind of feel like, you know, it's not a well-rounded eyeshadow palette. Again, love the quality of the palette. You guys know I love a warm tone eyeshadow palette, so don't think I don't like the quality. I just don't like the color scheme of the eyeshadow palette because it's too many browns, and I just kind of felt like they was trying to like, you know, just kill the space in the palette where they could have honestly put some more thought to it and given us some more like warm tone colors or just like some variety of neutral colors besides the same dark brown colors. All right, next one is going to be the 350 matte. Same thing as the 350, only thing is you have your matte version, and again, it's just the same thing. You have all these browns in here, you have these colors right here, which I can't do absolutely nothing with, and I just kind of feel like it's a waste of space, and they could have just put some more colors in the palette and I would be very happy with it. And the last palette is going to be by Lorac. It's the Mega Pro 2 eyeshadow palette. I bought this palette, I want to say 3 years ago, and I do like the eyeshadow palette. I love the quality of the eyeshadow palette. I just don't like the colors in the eyeshadow palette. This color, and that color is probably my top 3 colors in this eyeshadow palette. Everything else in here, I'm just kind of like, it's just there, and I honestly wouldn't have even bought this palette if it wasn't for me trying to build my makeup collection, because again, the colors in here are so uninspiring, and I haven't even touched this palette in God knows how long. Every palette I have pretty much spoken about to you guys, I have not touched in over maybe 2+ years. And that should tell you a lot in terms of just how much I don't like the palettes, because they're just so uninspiring whenever I try to use it, where I'm like, you know what, just use it today. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not inspired. So yeah, you guys, that's pretty much the makeup palettes that I have in my collection that I probably honestly wouldn't have even bought if I knew what I knew today, right now, as we speak. And that's a lot of money that went wasted. So I will try to use the palettes because I need to use them because I paid for them. But again, I just kind of feel like they're just not my kind of palettes. And again, I apologize if I have palettes in here that maybe you like, or they're probably like your color preference, but they're just not my color preference for what I like in terms of my eyeshadows and what I like for my skin tone. So yeah, you guys, hope you enjoyed this kind of video. If you want to see more videos like this where I pretty much sit and pick out products where I probably wouldn't have bought if I knew what I knew now, then of course let me know. And yeah, please be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.